In the Blue Jackets dressing room here, David Clarkson's going to be a popular guy, so let's find a place to get in on him.
Not being on the ice and trying to travel here, but I thought as a team we did a lot of good things, and there's obviously always things that you can do better. But I thought especially we played in that first, and I thought times in the third there we had a push where we were going, and I think we get ready for tomorrow and build off it.
Didn't have even so much as a morning skate with these guys, and then had to jump on in with them. How did you feel chemistry was?
It's I think in that first we had some good chances and things were going, but I think that comes with time and with like you said, getting some practice. And I think with the way it went, it was all done quickly and a lot. But I think, like I said, I think we did some good things tonight. We've got to build off that and be ready for tomorrow night.
David, you referenced the chances in the first period, and it almost looked like you got so many that when none of them broke the seal, that it got a little frustrating for you guys. Is that the way it felt on the ice, or no?
Not really. I mean, when you're getting a lot of chances and you're out shooting a team and playing the way we did there, I think, there's times where one doesn't go into two and it gets you a little bit. But I think, good teams and teams find a way to battle through that and keep the push going. And I think that's something, especially tonight. And I thought in the third we were doing that again at the beginning of the third period.
David Clarkson talking to us tonight. Mark Letestu is over here. Let's go over and talk to Mark. Mark, a hard-fought game again. Was this typical New Jersey Devils where they limit your chances so much and you get very few and you have to capitalize when you do?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the way they would have liked to have played, especially them coming off a back-to-back. They did limit. I thought we had the better of them for most of the game. We just weren't able to generate that goal, whether it's playing on the inside and getting to rebounds and tipping pucks. The type of goals that seem to be key at this time of year when everybody really tightens up going down the stretch.
Speaking of tightens up, does any of that have to do with you guys tightening up, or is it because of the lineup changes, or can you put a finger on that?
No, I just think sometimes it doesn't go in. I think we talk about frustration. I think a game like tonight, it's easy to not be as frustrated as the last one. I think you've seen Blue Jacket hockey, you've seen our identity out there, the physical play. The power play wasn't bad tonight. They didn't generate a goal, but positive momentum. So I think there's a lot more positives to take out of this loss than there was in Montreal. And obviously, I think this is a nice step in the right direction.
And that direction is over to Pittsburgh, where you have to play again tomorrow. It will be you in the back-to-back tomorrow. How does the complexion of that game change if you don't have a Brandon Dubinsky? You obviously won't have a Matt Calvert. The grittiness is what got you a win there about 10 days ago.
Yeah, and I mean, those guys don't supply all the grittiness. I think this room's full of it. There's guys that can step up and provide that. Maybe some guys are going to have to play more physical than they used to. But that's part of being a team. Sometimes when somebody's out, you got to pick up the slack. And I'm sure somebody will be ready for the opportunity.
Mark, thank you.
Problem.
That's Mark Letestu talking to us here, and Curtis McElhaney is with us. Curtis, again tonight you get the assignment of going up against a really good goalie on the other end in Corey Schneider, and you made some really good saves to keep your team in that game. But, what's it like when you're down on one end, you're watching what the guy's doing at the other end, and it's kind of the battle within the battle between the two of you?
Yeah, I mean, New Jersey plays tight games, and that's the way they play hockey, and they did it again tonight. I think Schneider played extremely well. He made some good saves for them. It would have been nice to bang one in there at the end, but, I thought for the most part we played a pretty good game. We gave ourselves an opportunity in that game, so I think that's the most important part.
Did Andy Green surprise you with that one that he got? Of course, he used his speed, and it was a good shot. I'm not taking anything away from that, but was there a surprise factor at all?
Yeah, I think it's one of those games where it comes down to it's not so much necessarily the things that I did well, but it's kind of like the missed opportunity, which ends up deciding the game. So, it's obviously a goal I would have liked to have had back, but it's unfortunate, but just make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, but like I said, that one may have gotten by, but you made a lot of great stops to keep it a 1-0 game. Just about what's the whole mood like in here right now? I mean, you've dropped 5 games in a row. You've gotten a point in one of those, but what's the mood like overall?
It's tough to say. I mean, I think we've been playing some good games here. I don't think we've been taking ourselves out of games necessarily, but I think the theme of late has been we've gotten behind in most of these games, and it's been tough to get back into them. So, we're going to have a tough game tomorrow night in Pittsburgh, and I think the important thing will be to get off to a good first period.
I think I guess it would be a little bit better if you're sitting in almost a guaranteed playoff spot and you're struggling, but when you're trying to get to a playoff spot and struggling, that's got to be a little bit disheartening, I would imagine.
Yeah, and I think the thing is right now for us, it's all about establishing good habits and making sure that we're heading in the right direction, regardless of what the outcome in the games is. So, tonight was a pretty good effort. It was just a one-goal game. So, hopefully we'll get those bounces tomorrow night.
Yeah, and you get a chance to face this team again in just a couple of days. Curtis, thank you.
Thank you.
Curtis McElhaney, Blue Jackets goaltender, talking to us here today after almost a collision. My cameraman, Sam, you're listening on the radio right now, but Sam just almost took out two reporters, and he's big enough to do that. I mean tough. I mean, like, physically tough to do that. So thankfully that didn't happen. Head coach Todd Richards will come down to the media room and talk about this game today. 2-0, the Devils win it. More coming up at BlueJackets.com and on the Scioto Downs Columbus Blue Jackets Radio Network.
Cold weather like this can put a real strain on your battery. AAA members can get a replacement battery installed right in their own driveway. If you're not a member, go to AAA.com to join right away. AAA, the card of the American driver. Here's a AAA hard driving day update. With AAA, you don't have to worry about what happens if you slide off the road in snowy weather like this. Because with one phone call, AAA roadside assistance is on its way. To become a member, go to AAA.com. AAA, the card of the American driver.
He shoots, he scores! He shoots, he scores! He shoots, he scores! NHL Ticket Exchange gives ticket holders a sure shot at getting in. It's the only official ticket exchange of the NHL, where every Blue Jackets ticket is verified by Ticketmaster. This is how the NHL does it. You don't get somebody's old ticket, but a new one reissued just for you. Don't get burned by ticket fraud. Buy or sell at NHL.com/ticket exchange. He shoots, he scores! NHL Ticket Exchange is a trademark of the National Hockey League.
Welcome to the bank compatibility test. You will hear two bankers answer the same question. A Huntington banker and another banker. Using frequency receptors in your radio, we will measure your brainwave activity to determine which bank is most compatible with you. Let's get started.
What happens when a customer's checking account is overdrawn?
Huntington.
Look, we realize that people make mistakes. That's why Huntington invented 24-hour grace. But also, if you link to a savings account, we'll transfer money from there free of charge.
Other banker. Calculating results. Through brainwave analysis, we have determined that you don't like being charged a fee to transfer your own money, and that Huntington...
2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes.
Also, you still regret never learning to play the flute. Based on these fundamentally sound results, you are advised to visit Huntington.com and open a checking account as soon as humanly possible. Huntington, welcome. Regulations limit the number of transfers from a savings account during account month. 24-hour grace does not apply to return fees.
Minute 45.
Huntington.com/grace.
Do you know a hockey mom who deserves to be this year's Marzetti Youth Hockey Mom of the Year? We want to know. Visit BlueJackets.com/HockeyMom and tell us why. It's easy to nominate a hockey mom, whether it's to thank her for all of those early morning rides to the rink, delicious dinners after a long practice, or for always being your #1 supporter. Anyone can nominate an outstanding hockey mom. Help Marzetti find this year's Marzetti Youth Hockey Mom of the Year and thank your mom today.
1 minute 15 seconds.
BlueJackets.com/HockeyMom.
I would say for me, hockey is kind of an art. Mental things, physical things, technical things. In the practice, it's tough, you know. It's hard.
1 minute, guys.
Some details, but in the game, it's mostly, it should be fun to be able to go on ice together and some fun.
Join the battle when the Columbus Blue Jackets face the Colorado Avalanche on Saturday, March 7th at 7 p.m.
45 seconds.
Now at BlueJackets.com.
Join the battle from everywhere with the Blue Jackets mobile app. Follow every shot, goal, and penalty with live game updates and listen to the Blue Jackets Radio Network broadcast. Plus, get breaking
30 seconds.
programming, customized game alerts, and all the great feature content from BlueJackets.com at your fingertips. Download the Blue Jackets mobile app now on the App Store, Google Play, or text CBJ app to 37664.
15 seconds.
That's CBJ app to 37664.
10 seconds. All right, 5 seconds till music, guys. Stand by. And you're live.
Blue Jackets lose to the New Jersey Devils today, 2-0. The final score in this game. Head coach Todd Richards talking to the media. Let's listen in.
Todd, was this game 0-0 for so long, 1-0 for so long? Did we see maybe the classic grinding New Jersey Devils of the past, and do they kind of live up to what they've done for years and years?
You have to give them credit for how they played. Having played last night, really liked our first period, even though we were down 1-0. Our track, our way our forwards skated, and our D-zone coverage, our arrivals, we were good in those areas. We didn't spend a lot of time in our own zone. I think they might have had one shift, maybe 2 shifts tops, where we spent some time in our zone. So it might have been a little disappointing coming out of the period, down 1-0, but got away a little bit from that game in the second. And they generated more opportunities. They had a better push. And then the third period, again, we just weren't able to score. I think defensively we were fine, but we didn't have the jump or the energy, that we needed to create that one play.
Do you come out of this somewhat heartened in that, I know you said you got away from things in the second period a little bit, but you kind of rolled your lines, for most of the game and stuck right with them and probably felt like you were right in this.
It's disappointing you come out, obviously, you lose the game, so there's that disappointing feeling. And I'll have to go back and watch the tape. And as I said, the first period coming out, there was, I think, a good feeling amongst the coaches, I think the players too, of things that they did in our execution systematically or even decisions with the puck. We were able to play in their zone. And again, we got away from that a little bit. And, I'll have to go back and look and get a better feel. But right now it's just a disappointment of losing the game.
Todd, I know they didn't score, but with David Clarkson on the power play, did you see a little less of that searching for the pretty play, get to the net kind of thing when you had the man advantage?
I think the first period we were good. We were shooting the puck, and there were some guys at the net. But again, it's tough for me to think. What I remember about our other power plays, we weren't able to do that. Some of the problems was our execution coming up the ice, where we didn't spend as much time in their zone, or once we got in their zone, our execution wasn't as good as we had it in the first period.
What's your early assessment of how Clarkson fit? I know it's just one game. But
He was fine. He watched D-zone coverage. He did some things right as far as how we do it. He battled, competed. Again, it's I didn't come out of the game, scratching my head or anything like that. From what I saw during the game, he was fine. He was good.
Todd, do you know who your goaltender is going to be tomorrow yet?
No.
Or no?
No.
Todd, you don't want to trail against any team, but is this a team that you really don't want to trail against because of the way they bottle things up?
You give them credit in how they played. I think some of it had to do with how they played, and I think some of it was us. And again, I really liked our first period. I think we had jump, we skated, managed the puck, and second and third, we didn't do a good enough job once we got the puck. And some of it had to do with them, and I think some of it was us. Thanks.
Head coach Todd Richards talking to the media after his team's 2-0 loss to the New Jersey Devils. These two teams are going to get together again on Friday in New Jersey. Still 2 meetings on the year remaining between the teams. Blue Jackets now moving on to Pittsburgh, where they take on the Penguins tomorrow afternoon. That'll be a 5 o'clock face-off as the Blue Jackets and the Penguins will play the third game of 4 between them this season. And they were just at Consol Energy Center 10 days ago. They got a big win, but they're going to have to go in this time without one of the catalysts to beat the Penguins. That's Brandon Dubinsky. He did not play tonight. He's a guy that normally is all over Sidney Crosby. Mark Letestu told me earlier that other guys are going to have to step up the physicality in their game against Pittsburgh tomorrow. That's a 5 o'clock face-off tomorrow afternoon from the Consol Energy Center. That's going to do it for the Tim Hortons postgame show here on BlueJackets.com, but much more as Mark Wyant continues with you on the Scioto Downs Columbus Blue Jackets radio network.